Hello and welcome to the Daily Courier-News. This is our global update. The headlines: Donald Trump's new tariffs are set to take effect. Trump suggests impact may not be as severe as feared. Claims India and the EU are already reducing their tariffs. The clock is ticking as Donald Trump's new tariffs are set to kick in. However, the president has recently softened his tone, suggesting the impact may not be as bad as people expect. When questioned about potentially pushing allies toward China, Trump dismissed concerns, stating, "I'm not worried about it. They have a chance of doing better actually with the tariffs." Trump claims the European Union has already dropped their tariffs on cars to 2.5%, which he described as a very small tariff. He also stated that India, just a little while ago, is going to be dropping its tariffs very substantially, expressing frustration that such actions weren't taken sooner. Despite these reassurances, markets worldwide remain deeply skeptical. On our global markets today, markets worldwide have crashed amid tariff uncertainty. Indian investors have lost approximately $35 billion in one day. U.S. markets suffering worse losses exceeding $5 trillion. Projected global economy losses could reach $1.4 trillion. Despite Trump's reassuring remarks, investors are not taking any chances. Markets around the world have crashed, with Indian stock experiencing what analysts describe as a complete bloodbath. Investors in India lost about 3 crore rupees, over $35 billion in a single day. The U.S. President Donald Trump officially imposed a 14% tariff on all Nigerian goods entering the United States. The move comes as part of his much anticipated Liberation Day tariffs, which sets new levies on imports from 185 countries, rattling financial markets across the US, Europe, and Asia. India expected to respond if no compromise offered. Countries worldwide are not sitting idle as Trump's tariff deadline approaches. China, Japan, and South Korea have joined hands, announcing they will respond to Trump's tariffs together in a show of regional solidarity. The European Union have been more direct, openly threatening retaliatory tariffs against American goods. If Trump leaves no room for compromise, India too will be forced to respond with its own countermeasures, potentially escalating what many fear could become a global trade war with no winners. U.S. boycott movement gains momentum. Consumer boycott spreading across multiple countries. Americano coffee remained Canadiano in Canada. All U.S. alcoholic products removed from Canadian shelves. 85% of surveyed Canadians plans to replace American goods. Beyond government responses, a grassroots consumer movement is gaining surprising momentum. What began with subtle signs, Danish grocery stores displaying buy local signage, French boutiques quietly removing Levi's jeans, Canadian markets pulling American bourbon, has evolved into a full-scale boycott movement. Hashtags like Boycott USA, Boycott American Goods, and Buy Made in America are trending across social media. In Canada, coffee shops have renamed the Americano as the Canadiano, with customers enthusiastically embracing the change. One customer reported, "I don't usually drink Americano coffee, but I just saw it on the board and I went, hey, this is something that's cool, and I'm going to support Canada and have a Canadiano." The Liquor Control Board of Ontario announced the LCBO sells nearly $1 billion worth of U.S. wine, beer, cider, seltzers, and spirits, including more 3,600 products from 35 states. As of today, every single one of these products is off the shelves. A recent survey in Canada found 85% of respondents plan to replace American goods, with many reporting they have already done so. Other American business feeling the pinch, Tesla sales projected to drop 7% in quarterly reports. European Tesla sales already down 49% this year. American business is forced to adapt or face consequences when importers concerned about tripping of prices. American businesses are already feeling the effect of both the tariff threats and consumer boycotts. Tesla, owned by Trump's ally Elon Musk, has been particularly hard hit. The company is set to release its quarterly reports tomorrow, with forecasts projecting between 355,000 to 360,000 models sold, a 7% decline from the same period last year. In Europe, Tesla's situation is even more dire, with sales dropping by 49% in the first 2 months of this year. Despite growth in the overall electric vehicle market, reports of Tesla stores being vandalized have emerged from multiple countries. American wine exporters expressed grave concerns about the impact. As one representative put in, "We are very concerned about the tariffs, increased costs that are already going to be tapping into already tight margins. Certainly the impact on our consumers, who's going to pay 75% for what was a 25% bottle of wine." Some businesses are embranding their products to disguise American origins, while others are doubling down on domestic markets, hoping international resentments will eventually fade. Some businesses are rebranding their products to disguise American origins, while others are doubling down on domestic markets, hoping international resentment will eventually fade. Putin escalates Ukraine conflict. The key points here are that Ukraine lost in territory since the beginning of 2024. Putin announces recruitment of 160,000 new soldiers, largest Russian conscription since 2011. Clear message that war will continue on Putin's terms. Turning to Ukraine, the nation is bracing for a new onslaught after steadily losing territory since the beginning of this year. President Putin appears to be going for the jugular, launching a massive new recruitment drive today, aiming to draft 160,000 men into the Russian army, the country's biggest conscription since 2011. All Russian men between the ages of 18 and 30 are eligible for the draft and will serve for 1 year. Since these conscripts typically serve away from the front lines, with Russia leaving the fighting to train soldiers, the timing of these announcements sends a clear message. Pressure will not work, and the war will only end on Putin's terms. The move comes as the United States and Ukraine are attempting to pressure Moscow into ceasefire, making Putin's recruitment drive a direct rebuff for these effects. On stealth peace negotiations, Trump remains optimistic about Putin fulfilling promises. Zelensky warns of new Russian operations in multiple regions. European diplomats demand Russian acceptance of ceasefire. Despite the escalation, President Donald Trump maintains his optimism, stating, "I think he's going to live up to what he told me, and I think he's going to fulfill his part of the deal." Trump noted that Ukrainian President Zelensky appears to be trying to negotiate. Zelensky has been more pessimistic, predicting last week that Russia was planning new operations in Sumy, Kharkiv and Zaporizhia regions. He warned that Putin's strategy is going to drag out peace talks while gaining more territory as possible. European diplomats who met in Madrid yesterday, joined by the UK's foreign minister, issued two clear demands. If Russia is serious about peace, it should accept a ceasefire immediately, and the United States must put increased pressure on Moscow to end the conflict. China's potential role in Ukraine resolution key points. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on three-day Moscow visit. China and Russia trade relationship worth $224 billion. Trump hopes China can influence Russia towards peace, uncertain if China will push Putin towards ceasefire. A potential wild card in the Ukraine crisis in China's role. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi is currently on a three-day trip to Moscow, where he has held meetings with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and President Putin. Speaking to Russian media, Wang described recently peace talks as a step towards peace, that although not that big and constructive, he added it's worth building on it. With peace, it is no more pain, no gain. You need to work hard to achieve it. China potentially has significant leverage with bilateral trade with Russia standing at $224 billion. China has been Russia's largest trading partner for 14 years and supplies dual-use goods that have both military and civilian applications. President Trump has expressed hope that Beijing could help end the conflict, stating hopefully China can help us stop the war with, in particular Russia and Ukraine. They have a great deal of power over that situation. However, the question remains whether China has the political will to push Putin toward a ceasefire. While Beijing might appreciate improved relations with Washington amid trade tensions, there may be vary of potential US-Russia reset that could threaten the Russian and China axis. In today's meeting, Wang projected confidence, stating that China and Russia could not tolerate interference from outside powers and insisting their relationship is not a yes-effort country. And that is our global update for today. Thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe.